Okay, in this video I'm going to show you how to make a simple graph in Excel. I'm going to just be graphing some fake data. You can see how you can translate this into the data that I actually want you to take for your lab. So the first thing we're going to do in Excel is set up our columns for where the data is going to go. It doesn't matter what's going to go on the x-axis or on the y-axis. It doesn't matter column A or column B. We will tell Excel what to graph a little bit later. So for example, here in column A, I'm going to be graphing concentration, which has units of molarity, versus absorbance, which is unitless. So I have my column heading set up in Excel, and I'm going to go ahead and put in my data. I want you to know that as I'm putting this data in, there's no units associated with every piece of data. So 0.1 molar does not have the units of molarity after it. The only thing that's showing up here is the actual numbers. That's what's going to go into your graph, is just the numbers. Don't have any letters or other units associated with it. And then the same is going to be true of this absorbance. Okay, now that I have my data actually entered into my cells, I'm ready to actually make the graph. This is one of the most important things. We're going to go up here to insert. You want to insert a scatter plot. Don't insert a line graph. Things get really messed up when you try to insert different kinds of charts. You want to insert a scatter chart. And then on the pull down menu, you want the one that is markers only. You don't want the ones that are connected. You want the ones that just have the markers. So I'm going to click on that. Sometimes your graph might appear with data in it. I want to double check and make sure that everything is as it should be. So I'm going to right click and click on select data. I'm going to remove this. So now you can see I'm back down to a blank chart area. This way I'm in complete control over what goes on the X and what goes on the Y. So now I'm going to right click again and go to select data. I'm going to add the series, and along the x-axis, I want it to be the concentration. Notice that I am not including the heading. I am just including those values, the numbers. And you click on this button to assure that those are the ones that are going to go on the x-axis. And then on the y-axis, I'm going to select the absorbance, just the numbers again, not the heading. And then you're going to click OK. And OK again, and that's what it should look like. Now we need to do some more with this chart in order to have it have the proper labels. First thing I do is get rid of the series 1. The only reason that you need different series labels on there is if you're plotting more than one line at a time. But since we're just plotting one line, absorbance versus concentration for one particular sample, we don't need that there. Now we're going to add our, so I clicked over here on layout. I'm going to give the title, the chart, a title. So I'm going to just call this something like concentration versus absorbance. Now I'm going to click on axis titles, and the horizontal axis is concentration in terms of molarity, and my vertical axis is absorbance. Now, a little bit more advanced, if you need to add a trend line, what you can do is click on your data series. So it's highlighted. You can see that there are little boxes around all of the markers. And then if you right click, you can go to add a trend line. We want a linear trend line, and we want the equation and the R-square value displayed on the chart. And there's our trend line equation. You can see that this data is relatively linear. It's because I made it up, and so that's why it's perfectly linear like that. That is how you create an easy, quick graph in Excel. Any questions? Let me know.